This one makes me laugh because I've been involved for 42 years in fixing up a lot of bad process. The first thing for process, as I was saying before, the first thing for process really is to have your budget and have your potential borrowings in writing from the bank, not an indication, have something good and hard from the bank. Now we know what our budget is going to be. We're going to find out if we need to go to committee of adjustment quite quickly. As soon as we have contract, we're going to do the work that's necessary for zoning. Do we actually need to go to committee of adjustment? Are we going to be requiring another 5 months to schedule to get through that process or not? The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into, let's say we're doing a second floor addition. We're going to go into the basement of the laundry room. We're going to dig into the floor. This is the foundation wall. This is the footing underneath. We're going to dig beside the footing and expose the side wall of the footing and a little bit underneath. And this is to determine the size of the footing, because that is literally the foot of the house, how much is sitting on the dirt, and get an idea of what the native soil is like underneath. And that gives us an idea of KPA, which is a number that tells us how many pounds per square inch we can go place with that footing on that soil for the load of the second floor. And this is why we have soil engineers sometimes and why we have structural engineers all the time. If they're not comfortable giving us an opinion, then we need to go spend another $500 or $1,000 to get a soil engineer in and get them to tell us what that's going to be. Now we're going to go ahead with the zoning issues if need be. Otherwise, we're going ahead with design, but just as much design as we need to have in order to secure a building permit. Because the building permit is going to be 2 months to cook with the city, perhaps a little bit less, perhaps a little bit more. During that time, that's when we can refine what we're really doing in the bathroom, what we're really doing in the kitchen, what we're really doing with the stucco, playing with different stucco colors, playing with different stucco stone, and all of the fine details that don't need to be included into the paperwork and the design in order for the city to consider our building permit. We've never failed to get a building permit, ever. We've never failed to get what we needed at committee of adjustment, ever, because we've done our research and we do good work. When we get the permit back, depending on who's reviewing it, some of them reviewers will just put a couple of notes in here and there. Other reviewers, we don't understand it, but they'll write almost the entire building code on the permit, and we have to reinterpret that as really something different that he's asking for, other than what we've put down, or is he simply feel obliged to go remind us? You never know what you're going to get. Some of the reviewers have been were trades themselves a long time ago. Some of the reviewers are just 6 weeks out of Ryerson College, and they've had a 6-month course. You don't know. Okay, so now our permit is still cooking. We have finalized most of our design. We've also finalized engineering. We've finalized the HVAC, what we need to do for heating and cooling. It might be a combination of things. We've figured out what we're going to do for humidification, which is very important. I want humidification, if it's a 4-star system especially, I want humidification in all of the bedrooms at night so that we've got humid air in there. And this is going to keep people's throats from getting dry, because this is the beginning of the nosier throat cycle of people getting sick. And this has amazing results for the clients. They say after we're done a project, they say that the kids are not sick nearly as much, and they're not home with them nearly as often. They're able to do what they need to do. As we're getting through construction, an old general said, no battle plan survives the first battle. There's always adjustments going along, always. I build into our project miscellaneous into the budget, which is a percentage of the total budget. Now, if I'm working on, let's say, a 1960s bungalow in Etobicoke, I know those houses inside and out. They're built quite well. The building code was much improved, and there isn't many surprises that we're going to find in those buildings. If we're working something at Bloor and Spadina and it's 1910, Probably has balloon framing, which is really not consistent. And as we get into opening up walls, we find that beams are missing, posts are missing, and we're shaking our heads about what's actually keeping the building up. Maybe it's the plaster keeping the building up. We don't know. So we have a larger miscellaneous for those types of projects. The older the building is, the more challenges we're going to run into, the more that we need to set aside in the beginning. And we do this in order to say at the end of the job that we finished inside budget and that everybody was prepared, and I don't have to ask the client to go back to the trough to go get more money. If that happens, I feel like I've failed.